Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. And hello Luminance! You're here early this time. I hadn't even switched off my stream starting screen yet. So I'm gonna keep going here. Just continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. I was looking at her jaw again this morning and wanted to make a couple of changes to it. Just want to push it a little bit more this way, I think. I think her face was still shrinking downward a little bit. Well, when I'm just getting everything started, I'm typically making sure that nothing is breaking, and also checking the model for whatever I feel like working on right away. So I might respawn sometimes, but other times I am here making sure that nothing is exploding. Let me hide the head shadow here for a second. There was just something about the chin here that I thought was a little bit off, so I figured that I'd go poke around at it for a few minutes. See what happens before I get back into working on the hair. It's like, unfortunately, I had her nose and mouth aligned with all of that, with where the chin was before. So if I want to adjust that a little bit, I'm going to have to move them a little bit as well. But it doesn't feel like her head is shrinking quite as much with her chin there, so I think that looks pretty good. Just a quick little experiment to see if I could make that a little bit better. It had been bothering me for a couple of days, so hadn't been sure how to fix it, but I think this helped. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the features back into place here and all of that good stuff. And of course the inevitable fine adjustments that I always have to do at the very end. That's okay. Heads are complicated. But I do think that looks a little bit better. Her face doesn't look like it's shrinking quite as much here. Alright. Let's go ahead and turn the headline back on. And I will copy the deformation over. Where is the head? H-E. Here we are. Okay, I think that works. I'll go ahead and copy it over here too. Looks a little bit more like her too, I think. The overall shape of her jaw and cheek over there. Alright, then I'll have to adjust the shadows accordingly, because now it's just floating off her chin, casually. Definitely want her shadows to be on her chin properly. There we go. And on this side too, where it's moving in perhaps a bit more than it should. And there we go. I had a bit of extra time to myself this morning because my husband has to get up early to take our son to the dentist. Just a routine checkup, so he doesn't have any problems. His teeth seem pretty good. But, so he has to get up early for that. So he wanted to go to bed a bit early. So I was doing some drawing and working on Christmas gifts. I think they were looking pretty good, and I decided to do some work with the overall lighting there. Because one of the things I like to do when I light pictures is I just kind of shade it normally at first, and then I add more interesting lighting afterward. If you watch my process video of Zero closely, you'll see that there comes a point where everything looks normal for a while, and then I just go ahead and add those bright red and blue lights. So that's what I was doing today, adding basically the equivalent of that. It's not quite as dramatic in this picture, but that's okay. It's still very pretty, and I was very happy to work on it. I like doing that. And I can finally add in the rest of the lighting. Everything just looks so much better, and it makes me happy. But it's also kind of funny because I had finally finished all of the foliage. I have drawn all of the flowers. I had mentioned that I'd been drawing a lot of flowers in a few streams, and indeed, I have now finished drawing all of the flowers. Except there is going to be a floral pattern on the girl's dress. And I was like, oh no, I haven't even started on the pattern. But I did not feel like drawing any more flowers. So that's why I decided to let myself have some fun and do some lighting. I see. That is a bit unfortunate timing. Well, hopefully you'll find another chance to see them, you know, assuming you want to. I do not know how you feel about this old friend, so I do not know if reuniting with them is a good thing or a bad thing. Do I like any specific kinds of flowers? Personally, I wouldn't say I have a favorite or even much of a preference. I guess I like bright colors. So, I just like colorful things. In this case, it was just a kind of scene that suited having a bunch of flowers in it and a nice pretty garden. So I drew them all. And there were lots of them, so it took a while and it was a little bit painful sometimes. But it looks very pretty, so I'm glad I did it. I mentioned a couple of streams ago that this is what I think is actually meant by suffering for your art. Not like starving or never having any money or anything, but I wanted a big field of flowers in this picture, and I knew I was going to have to draw them all. And it was a lot, and it was a little bit tedious and kind of hard. But it does look fantastic, and I knew that it would look fantastic, which is why I wanted to go do it. So that made it worth it. Even if it was, perhaps, a little bit painful. I do look forward to posting that. I'll be posting it on Christmas. I, 'cause, 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 ' Also, I swear, the only reason that I know any flowers by name is because I keep having to draw them. And it's so much easier to find references of them, photo references, when you know their names. Ah, I see. So some, like, fake flowers? The imitation ones? Those are kind of nice because then you don't have to take care of them. It's very convenient. My mom used to like to make, floral arrangements with them. And they were pretty as well. I used to still have one of them, but, the toddlers... toddlers got to them. So it is no more. Alright. I just noticed that there were a few problems with the side bang there, so I figured that I'd go in and fix those first. It wasn't lining up the way I wanted it to with the diagonal from here to here. I've been looking at that very closely the past few days. Make sure that I get everything just the way I want it. Most of it is pretty small details, but I notice it. And these are hairs that are, like, in the front, right by your face. So I do like to try to spend a little bit of time getting them to look as good as I can. This one looks pretty good, though. I hadn't noticed any significant issues there. It's only this one I didn't quite like. But now it's doing much better. I think it looks much nicer now. There's something about this line here. It's moving kind of weirdly. Okay. Tells me that some vertices probably got pulled up a little bit here. So I'll go ahead and pull them back down. I see. Yeah. It's fine. It's one of those things where you have a choice. It's like if you don't go, then I imagine that they would not be quite as close to you then as they would be otherwise. But if you don't want to be especially close to them or whatever else, then... Or if you're not doing something fun or whatever else might be happening, then I can certainly understand it. It all just depends on how you feel about it and how you feel about them. But I will say, at least with people that you do like, people that you do resonate with, it's probably worth holding on to them. Just gotta search your feelings. Is that really... I'm noticing that I'm pulling these, the center line of vertices really far to the side, and I'm just like, is that actually right? But, yeah, that seems to be looking better than otherwise, so... Alright, guess I'll keep it like that. Seems a bit weird, but if it looks right, then I guess that's probably right. Is that really how I had it? Yeah, I guess so. They were pretty close together, and they're gonna be even closer together on the left turn, so I guess it makes sense. I was just a little surprised. It is. See, this is why in recent years I decided to kind of ignore it and just do weird stuff with it. I have way more fun with weird perspective than I do sensical perspective, so why not roll with it? This is why lately I've been drawing pictures with, like, some kind of limb going forward. With Zero, it was the foot from her kick, and with the one that I'm working on right now, it's a hand, and all kinds of good stuff. I think it's way more fun. I guess the perspective and head turns for rigging is pretty mild. Don't do a lot of super interesting stuff with it. Gonna stream until the end of the year, and next year as well, with any luck. Unless my computer explodes. Let's see, I think I started streaming in May, and I think I've missed a grand total of like 3 days. One of them I was sick, and 2 of them was way early on. And before I had to kind of adjust to the schedule. And there were a couple of times that my husband and I just kept doing stuff too late. And suddenly we look up and... oh no, I was supposed to start streaming an hour ago. Whoops. But that hasn't happened in a long time, so... Well, yes, with any luck, I'll be able to keep going for a long time. Oh, congrats. I mean, I'm glad you're able to find the issue. It's always really nerve-wracking when your computer just kind of dies on you. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I was able to be of much help there, but, regardless, I'm, glad it helped anyway. Man, just having trouble getting the shadows on the hair here to line up the way that I want them to. But I think I'm getting it pretty close here. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I don't mind if there's a little bit of swivel in the tips, but I'll have to line this up with this turn up here at some point, but right now it looks a little bit silly when she moves her head up and down like this. That's okay. I think that's going to be a problem for future me. Present me is going to worry about these lower head turns first. Okay, that should be fine. Now then, time to clean up this part right here. I think it is time. Get all this going. Oh, I don't actually have this, layer order set to be below the face. Okay, I'll have to be careful with that. I honestly should probably fix it now, but I'll fix it if it becomes a problem with the physics. Because I don't actually think here is going to move that much when it comes time to add physics. Man, I have just been looking forward to doing the physics for such a long time now. But I really want to get all the head turns done before I do that. That way I can just have her swing her head around and make her hair go all whoosh, and it'll be incredibly satisfying. Physics just makes everything so much better. That's really when things start looking really lively. It's great. Okay, time to fix that blob. My goodness, look at that. It's just always funny before I go in and actually make things look nice of just some of the funny things that can happen. Just look at that area, just flop. Does not know what is going on. I know, right? It has a mind of its own. Time to rein that in. Okay, which way do I need it to go in order to not look completely cursed? Okay. Now that I'm looking at it, maybe I should have considered drawing a little bit more on this strand, so that this way it would be a little bit easier to do this part here, but I already drew quite a bit of extra on it, so I'm surprised that I still need a little bit more. I saw that the main thing making it look super cursed was just that everything was like being pushed way down into the right here. So I'm kind of pulling it up or down to the left rather. Dyslexia strikes again. But so I'm trying to move it a bit up into the right here. Try to get that shape lining up a bit more nicely. Okay, that's not 100%, but I think it'll probably be about 80. Yep. Okay, so far so good. I think I have them all at the point where I want them to move to the right about the same amount, so taking a chance and using the brush to save myself some effort, in theory. I'll see if I regret that, but I think we're fine. Yeah, we're definitely fine. All is well. The brush can just be a little bit scary sometimes because it moves things around super hard. Even when I try to be gentle. Alright. So I think everything's pretty okay now. So now I can just go back to straightening everything out. And actually, I should also be checking the diagonal a bit here. How is it looking from over here? Yeah, pretty okay. I think I should just be able to line it up with this up here, and then it should be okay. But it's looking like soon the lower left turn will be completed. It's got this, a couple of spots on the right, including the one spot that always gives me the most trouble, unfortunately. But after that, it's just loose strands and back hair. All the stuff that I have turned off right now. I can tell I'm gonna have to move this strand, kind of dividing the top part from the bottom part. Actually, I think I might do a little bit of that now. So I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. But yeah, I was overflowing there for a second. It's supposed to connect nice and seamlessly right up into here. But it was not doing that. Now it is. So right now it looks like there's almost a bit of compression going on. That's kind of what happens when the vertices get a little bit closer together than they were before. So it tells me that I'm not moving something downward enough, perhaps. Although, man, that's going really far down. That's also the area that looks less compressed, so I should probably base it around what's going on here. That makes sense, yes. So we'll just let these vertices have a little bit more personal space here. And hopefully they'll stop looking so squashed. Alright, did that fix the squishing? Mostly. Still a little bit on this side. So I guess I'll go and fix some stuff over here too. My older child has been very cute lately. I mean, she's always cute, but she is suddenly very interested in books. It all happened all at once, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. Occasionally I tried to read to her before, and she just wasn't super interested, so I never really tried to force it. And now she just wants us to read stories to her all the time. And I'm glad, because she's 5 now, so this is a good time for her to start learning how to read. I've been trying to help her with that a little bit here and there. So I'm glad that she's starting to show some interest. Because reading is important. Reading will enable so many more things in the future. So I'm glad to see that. With the older one, it's reading, and with the younger one, he's been showing a lot of interest in building stuff. So I'm kind of hoping that next time we take him to Grandpa's house that I'll be able to show him my old Legos. And he'll be able to build some stuff with those, because I bet he'll like that. We had like some of the bigger Duplo blocks for him to play with, but they got scattered all over the house. Just everywhere, and can't really find him anymore. So he's very limited in what he can build with them. So I do look forward to being able to show him a big bucket of Legos at Grandpa's house. And it is great. I'm very happy. I've largely just let them pursue their interests, and I just encourage them to do things that I think is good for them here and there. But for the most part, I don't know, I think it's a natural human instinct to want to go do stuff. Sitting around and watching TV can only get you so far in terms of entertainment. It's nothing quite like being able to, I don't know, do something that uses your brain a little bit more. Whether that be creating stuff or reading stuff. Looking at what other people have created. That's a good way to put it. Both of them have been pretty okay in that regard, so I haven't been worried at all. But I am glad that she's showing some interest in reading specifically, because I think that'll help her a lot when it comes time for her to start school next year. That's been fun. I remember the other day, she got up in the middle of the night when she just needed to be sleeping, and brought to me this copy of Cardcaptor Sakura that I had laying around in her room, and asked me to read it to her, but I was like, no, you gotta go to bed, tiny one. And she had to go to bed. It was like midnight. Not an appropriate time for her to be awake. And I said that we'd read something tomorrow, but apparently she picked the Nose book instead, from Dr. Seuss. Probably more appropriate for a 5-year-old. But it just kind of amused me that that was the the book she wanted to read at first. Alright, I think this is almost in place. I just noticed that the top part there was out a little bit, needed to be pushed back in. But otherwise, I think it's all looking pretty good. With how cursed things look at the beginning, sometimes it can look a little bit daunting. Just being like, man, am I going to be able to get that to line up right? But it actually all comes together pretty quickly. Sometimes. And then there's the strand from hell. I'm looking at you, strand from hell. I'll deal with you later. Gotta finish over here first. Hold on, I got a cough here. Bleh. It's okay. I'm sure someday my throat will go back to normal. And hopefully it'll be before my kids get me sick again. My son is going to the dentist tomorrow, so they'll probably be around some other kids. And I'm like, oh no. Alright, just want to adjust this outer shape a little bit if I can get away with it. Kinda let it line up with the back hair that kinda comes through there. But yeah, I think that looks okay. Does not look suspicious. Does not look like I'm cheating at all. Although I'm not quite sure what this random line is. Is that just a part of the head that got weird when I was adjusting that this morning? Looks like it. Okay. Oh, go ahead and clean that up a little bit then. Okay, that should be fine. I think that looks okay when you zoom all the way out. It just looks a little funky when I zoom in to, you know, like 700%. As I often do when I'm working on this. Alright, looking good. Let's get the little strand underneath it now. Just want to pull them down a little bit here. So this way it's moving down about the same rate as the rest of the hair. But otherwise, I don't think it really needed that much adjustment. I thought it was pretty fine. Interpolation had my back today. I've also been able to do some other cute things with my daughter. I showed her Infinity Nikki, and she had some fun dressing up Nikki with me. Just putting her in all the pink clothes. Right now, her fashion sense is about what I would expect from a 5-year-old. Very bright, very colorful, and very easily distracted by glitter. And lately she's actually been talking about colors a lot. I'm not sure what prompted it. I know that some of the stuff she watches on TV are like kid shows that often teach about colors. So I'm wondering if she just watched enough of those that she thinks colors are very interesting right now. I swear, kids' television is something else. Yeah, there we go. I think that's looking pretty good. I do think I want this little bit in the back here to have that dark line go all the way to the edge here, if I can get away with it. Let's push it all the way over here. Yeah, something like that. And then that also tells me that part of over here is sticking out. In a way that maybe it shouldn't. At least I thought it was that layer. Is it not that layer? Okay, I'm going to look around here. Is it this one? Okay, it's this one. Sticking out in maybe a way it shouldn't be. Man, I do look forward to my throat going back to normal, though. Because, like, it doesn't hurt like this, but I feel like I sound funny. And I don't like it. It's like, it's not bad, but it's, Have you ever listened to the sound of your own voice and just cringed really hard because it just sounds wrong? I have finally gotten over that, where listening to the sound of my own voice doesn't bother me that much. But, now I'm getting that feeling back again, where my voice sounds just wrong, because I'm still a little bit sick. It's very unfortunate. Alright, I think that's looking good now. I'm gonna take a look at this tiny little loop of hair, since I have it showing right now. Which one is that? Right there. I feel like it's just getting compressed a little bit, so go ahead and just pull it on down. There we go. It's like I had it showing. I might as well get it into place now. Pull it on over. There we go. Okay, I'm looking at the length of this part and the little strand coming off below it as I move it from the bottom to the bottom left. I was debating on whether or not it was wrong, but I think it's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Alright. So I guess that means it's Hellstrand time. Alright, gotta go hide the side bang since it covers up part of the strand there, so we'll just have a bit of hair casually coming out of her cheek again. No big deal. And I'll try to wrangle this one into submission. We'll see how much of it I can get done today. But, the strand, it just does not like me. We don't get along. It always seems like no matter how hard I try, I struggle with it badly. It's okay. With every head angle I do, I feel like I understand it a little bit better, so maybe this time we'll be able to reach an understanding. And I won't have to spend, like, 30 minutes just flailing, trying to understand what it is I'm trying to do. If I'm lucky. I'm not sure if I believe it. I have trust issues. Couldn't tell you what makes this one so much harder than some of the other ones, though. Like, there's a reason that I call this one the Strand from Hell and not, like, the tips of this bang or something, because this one's pretty hard, too, but for whatever reason, this one's just always worse. I don't understand. Not at all. But I will try. So the first thing I'm trying to do is line up the kind of this highlight that runs all the way up here, and this one that's on the other side of it. Just kind of starting from the top and working my way down, and hoping that if I work things up there, that everything else will kind of come together. Because at least if I have the top in a good spot, then I know that if everything looks good below it, relative to that top spot, then I probably have something good here. And for the time being, I'm only looking at the diagonal. I do not want to get distracted by anything else. I'll worry about how they all line up with these two areas a little bit after. Okay, but so far so good. That actually looks pretty okay. So I'll just keep on working my way down. Man, I had this problem with my husband this morning. For whatever reason, as I keep talking, my nose just gets super stuffed up from it. Just makes my nose run. I'm not sure when that started happening, but that has been a thing the past few days. So by the end of stream, it's like my nose and my throat are just so confused. So congested. It's deeply unfortunate. It is. It is levitating again. I need to move that bang out of the way, so this way I can look at this strand that always gives me a hard time. Because it covers up part of it. So I'll just have a little bit of hair casually coming out of her cheek. It's fine, don't worry about it. Okay, I think that's so far so good there. I'm gonna take a look at this little loop of hair now. Need to figure out where the top and the bottom should go. Right now I feel like the bottom should be a little bit lower, but I think the top is okay. We shall see if all is well. Okay, well overall I feel like this strand is actually moving pretty well. Is my future self just going to look at it and be like, no, everything is wrong. What were you even thinking, past self? Is that why everything is going so well? I'm suspicious. Things never go this well with this strand. I want to get this little curl at the tip just right here. It's a very cute little curl. And I'm always sad when I can't get it right. There we go. That should be okay. In theory, we'll see how things look on the diagonal here. Okay, other than just a minor little bit of crunchiness that I want to clean up there, I think this looks pretty good. Okay. Like I said, I'm suspicious. This strand never goes this well. So I swear that I'm just gonna come tomorrow and not like any of it. But I guess that's a problem for my future self. My present self is pretty happy. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm just like, man, if it actually does all look good, then maybe tomorrow I can finish off like all the little strands and stuff. All those little layers that I was hiding. Make it all look very nice. Oh, those strands are going to be so much fun when it comes time to add physics, because I can just make them bop all over the place. I still think about the physics a lot. Alright, yeah, that seems pretty good. I'll just make it line up with everything else tomorrow. I can see I'm not quite satisfied with this movement here. So I'll have to decide which one's doing it better and that kind of thing, but I think this is a pretty good start. And it's about time for me to get some food, so we'll just leave her hair levitating, and hopefully I can make it no longer levitating tomorrow. But that is where I will end for today. So thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or add me on the social media platform of your choice, and I'll take a look. Maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.